Do you want to achieve this voluminous, bouncy French blowout look while saving time? Let me show you how with the AirLight Pro. This technique is so customizable for all hair types and textures, so I first want to do a quick hair analysis to determine my client's hair formation. I found she has curly, medium density hair and no previous color. We're going to begin with a shampoo and conditioner that's going to suit her hair type and texture, and then I like to go in with a mousse and a leave-in conditioner to help me create the style I'm going for. In her case, I want smooth, bouncy volume, so I like to emulsify the product in my hand and start applying from the mid-lengths to the ends, and any residual product that I have, I work through the roots and around her face frame just so we don't get too much product buildup in that area. Since my client has curly, medium density hair, I use the AirLight Pro to rough dry her hair with around 60% airflow. Now, let's get started on sectioning the hair. I used a tail comb and duckbill clips to create clean sections. This is really important. I sectioned off the front pieces so I can focus on the back of the hair. Starting with the back sections, the first thing I do is create a vertical section down the middle of my client's hair. Then I create horizontal sections from just below the parietal ridge to the top of the ear. I twist the hair into a bun and pin the hair. I repeat the twist and pin method on the horizontal section, which is at the nape up to the base of the occipital bone. I then section away the top mohawk, and that I will deal with later on after I finish sectioning out the sides. Next, on the left side of the head, I'm going to do a diagonal forward subsection, giving me two separate areas. I twist and pin both sections accordingly. What works well for me is folding the hair in half over top of your pointer finger and hold the tail with your other hand. Start twisting until it begins to coil up. Then at the top loop where you initially folded it over is where I like to slide the pin in. Now we're going to repeat this process on the other side of her head, coiling and pinning the hair to keep everything organized. This also prevents the hair from drying out too quickly and creating frizz before you get a chance to smooth it out. Another important thing to remember is that if your client has higher density or maybe a curlier formation, you may need to do smaller sections. You may also notice that the hair is sectioned in the way I want to blow dry it. So if it's a diagonal forward subsection, I'm going to be blow drying that hair forward towards the face. Here is what the final sectioning looks like. Now let's get started on that French blowout. Today we will attach the smart magnetic concentrator nozzle to the AirLight Pro. Now it's time to turn on the AirLight Pro. One of my favorite features is how easily customizable the tool is. I can even add my own profile picture to the device. Like, how cool is that? For curly and coily hair formations, it's really important that we have a high level of tension throughout the process. I do this by wrapping the hair around the brush and really directing the nozzle along the hair strand while I have that tension in place. I like to begin by really working at the base of the hair and making sure that's nice and smooth before I start worrying about the ends. Then I move through the mids, making sure that's smooth, all the way down to the ends of the hair where I use my cool shot to really seal the cuticle and then roll it back up to create my pattern. Now unwind this section and let it lay while you move on to the right side. Once this is also dry, I combine both my sections together and pin in the direction of my blow dry. I like to combine the two sections because it eliminates any lines or separation happening within the client's hair. Another aspect that I find valuable and why I like to use on my clients is that the AirLight Pro leaves no damage. It is L'Oréal Professionnel's first ever hairdryer augmented with infrared light technology. What does this mean? The infrared light technology targets water molecules, replicating natural evaporation, and uses 11% less energy while doing so. That's pretty cool. Additionally, another feature that I love about the AirLight Pro is that with every blow dry, it's actually locking in hydration, leaving my client's hair feeling healthy, silky, and smooth. Also, I'd like to point out that throughout this blow dry, my wrists and arms are not hurting at all. The AirLight Pro is actually 1.7 pounds, so it's super lightweight, really easy to use. And also, one thing to keep in mind that's really important for like career longevity and just body positioning is making sure your elbows aren't above your head. Try to keep them close to your body and direct the hair towards you instead of really high up. Of course, we need volume in the hair and there's going to be moments for that, but try to minimize it as much as you can. Now, as I'm working through the Mohawk, I'm really over-directing the hair slightly towards the face, making sure to dry that base first, then through the mids, and sealing the ends with that Cool Shot button. I roll the hair back and away from the face and pin accordingly. If you don't have pins, another option for you is to cool the hair on the round brush, or cool the hair and remove the round brush and let it just fall to the side. Now it's time to unpin and reveal the final look. Once each section is cooled, I unpinned all the sections and finger combed through the hair. You can always use a hairspray or other styling products if desired, but honestly, this looked so good. I'm really happy with the way this look turned out, and thanks to the AirLight Pro, so was my client. With the AirLight Pro French Blowout signature technique, we achieved effortless volume and movement in record time. Now it's your turn to recreate the French Blowout signature technique by AirLight Pro. Don't forget to tag us.